So the Democrats basically just got a huge victory. Jeff Flake, the Republican, who's not so very Republican, he's more of just a Trump-hating establishment neocon that goes with the globalists that are on the Democratic Party. He ends up voting yes out of the subcommittee to allow the Kavanaugh confirmation vote to occur, but says that it must be delayed a week so that there can be an FBI investigation before he'll vote yes. And the way it works is they basically, the little committee voted with 21 people voted today. They voted to have a vote, and then all 100 senators get to vote. Because there's only 51 Republicans, at least 50 of them, they'll need at least 50 votes to confirm Kavanaugh. So if Flake peels off, that takes them down to 50, and it appears as if Murkowski and Collins and some others are going to go along with Flake. So this is an enormous victory for the Democrats. What this means is that there'll be an FBI investigation. It's supposed to last a week. You're already starting to see people like Avenatti, who's Stormy Daniels' lawyer. He has a client who's claiming she was gang raped at this party, continued to go back, she was an adult, but she watched underage girls get gang raped at these parties, kept going back at least 10 times, never said a word to anyone, never came up, and despite the dozens of witnesses and victims and things like that, never came up in 6 background investigations of the FBI. She doesn't have any witnesses, anything of that nature, but Avenatti saying, yes, all these charges need to be fully investigated. This will be the party line. The Democrats will say more charges, nebulous charges will be brought up, things will be brought up. They'll say everyone who gives any statement needs to be investigated further. People that know the people giving statements need to give statements. Everyone needs to be investigated. Everyone needs to come in front of the Senate and give testimony. More allegations need to be investigated, and it will go on and on. No matter what, even if the Republicans decide to say enough is enough after this week, then we'll be in the exact same position we're in today, where they will say, you support men that rape women. This guy Kavanaugh is guilty. You're still allowing him on the court, even though the FBI hasn't given us any evidence. We still know he's a rapist. We're still going to vote no. We never were going to vote yes, but we're still going to vote no. And you're all terrible people because you already admitted we needed a credible FBI investigation. Well, week's not enough time for an FBI investigation. It shouldn't have a time limit. It should be allowed to go on, and we should have the right to question all these people. And thus, the effective delay will commence. What can I say? I think it's absolutely disgraceful and shameful. Jeff Flake is a terrible person. I don't know if he did this. Well, I can't say, he is a terrible person, not just for this reason, but this is a terrible decision. I don't think he cares. I think he hates Trump and he's a globalist. And this is Kavanaugh, I guess, the way things are going, the globalist Democrats don't want him on there. They're willing to do anything, even destroy him and his family over bogus claims, declare him guilty, declare him evil. They've done all these things. So Flake's going along with that. Good for him. Good for Collins. Good for Murkowski. If you live in a district with any of these people, never vote for them again. Never vote for any of these Democrats. I don't care if you vote third party, vote Jill Stein, vote Green Party, vote Bernie. It doesn't matter. But these people, absolutely despicable. And the die is cast. I see no reason that this won't, now that this worked, this precedent worked, that it won't be used over and over and over again. What incentive do the Republicans have not to do the same thing? For example, let's say Cory Booker decides to run for president. Why don't they just wait until 2 weeks before the vote for presidency in 2020 and demand an FBI investigation into his admission of sexually assaulting a girl that he wrote in his own words, that he was in high school. This girl was drunk. He tried to grab her breast. She slapped his hand away. He went back in and did grab her breast, and he admits the next day she was too drunk to be able to consent. That's sexual assault. That's at least as bad as what the second accusation in the Kavanaugh was, that he exposed himself. So I guess that's how things will play. The Republicans will wait until 2 weeks out. They'll say, okay, Cory, you should call an FBI investigation into yourself and drop out of the race until that investigation, if you're truly innocent. If you don't, then you have something to hide, right? And of course, what will happen is the Democrats, who have no scruples whatsoever and always stick together, will say, basically, to heck with you. We'll do what we want. We know he's a good man. We don't need an investigation. Moving on. And they're media chums that that if anything came from this, at least that it's absolutely 100% clear now. It should be to everyone. There is no independent mainstream media in this country. It is 90% Democratic mouthpieces. That's what it is. They will tear anyone down. They don't care. It is effective. It works. It worked this time. It will work next time. It will work over and over again. And this is the world we live in now, of witch hunts, of digging through high school yearbooks to find coded fart jokes to prove that you're a rapist and things of that nature. That's where we are now. The Republicans, some unscrupulous ones or strategic, depending on how you want to look at it, but I would still be against this, will start digging up allegations of people's past of all of their opponents. That less and less policy will be discussed. The rhetoric will become more and more heated. You saw Jeff Flake. I wonder, possibly he changed his mind today because he was confronted by angry protesters screaming that he doesn't care about rape victims today. Imagine if the reverse happened, right? Imagine if a bunch of Patriot Prayer people or NRA people surrounded someone in an elevator screaming at some Democratic senator like Feinstein and started screaming at her, or Cory Booker or whoever, right? The media would be going nuts about mob vigilante violence, intimidation in the Senate. But now that it's this way, no big deal. That's great. It's a great thing. There's also a story, by the way, yesterday that someone, I think this is true, someone doxed, which is releasing all of people's private, personal, like home information, a bunch of the Republican senators from a computer on Capitol Hill, because that's the new playbook. Anything, they will use violence, they will use intimidation, they will smear you, they will use their media mouthpiece to justify all of this, and it works. The delay worked here. Mark my words. Wait until you see what comes out in the next week. There's going to be more bogus allegations written totally anonymously. There's going to be claims to investigate everything. Like we just had 6 weeks of investigation. There's been 6 FBI investigation background checks into Kavanaugh. Everything will need to be redone over and over and over and over and over. Doesn't matter if there's no evidence. We will be right back at this point next week. And worms like Flake that back down will still be forced to say, but this time I did care about women. Please don't hurt me. Please. I'm virtue signaling to you. Please. Please don't do anything. Oh, what do you need? You need me to call for more time? That'll be... It's going to be never ending. So I hope that everyone should be ashamed. I know that, maybe there'll be some people that are happy about this, that are partisan Democrats that are happy about this. Be careful what you wish for. I hope that anyone who thinks this is great is never accused of a crime like this. I hope that I've shown in all my other videos how the Democrats completely used Dr. Ford, have done all kinds of things to her that weren't in her best interest, and they totally get away with it because they control the media and they control the narrative, and it's a sad day. The real people that don't care about women and sexual abuse, that will weaponize and trivialize it when they get a victory. A good man with no evidence against him is teared down, and another step into the further abyss of the politics of this country, where now an accusation with no time, no place, all the people that supposedly were there saying that no, it never happened, or they don't remember it happening, that's good enough to ruin your life and to keep you off the Supreme Court or anything else if you have the wrong ideology.